Okay, so today we're going to start with the coconut square, and this is starting with your white yarn. And first thing we do is get this onto the hook. So I make a magic loop, pull that through, get my hook into there, and the first thing we're going to do here is chain 4. That's UK chains. I don't think they're any different with the American version, the US version. Then you slip stitch that to be a circle. So I've got 4 chains and I've got a slip stitch to join the ring. Then I'm going to chain 3, and then we're going to work 11 trebles. That's UK trebles into the ring in the middle. So we'll have a total of 12 stitches in the end. So the UK treble is wrap in, so you're in that definite middle bit, wrap, bring it back through, wrap through 2, wrap through 2, just do a couple more. So wrap into the hole, grab it, pull it back through, wrap through 2, wrap through 2. So we need 11 of these in total, and the chain of 3, which gives us our 12 stitches. So obviously pause the video as you need to, because it's just a few stitches. I'm going to do all of these, and then we're going to join the circle, join the round. What have we got to? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll just confirm that. So that's one of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you're slip stitching into the top of the chain 3. Now for this, we're not changing colour, so I'm going to go straight into round 2. Don't flip your work. This has got a definite right side and a wrong side, so we're keeping the right side facing, and we're going to chain 3, and then we've to work a treble into the same stitch, and that counts as 2 trebles. We're now going to work 2 UK trebles into each stitch. So there's one there, round in. So you can see I've got 2 trebles into that stitch there, and then 2 into the next. And again, we're going to go all the way around the circle, working 2 into every loop. I'll just pause it there for you because you don't need to watch me do sets of trebles, and we'll come back to that in just a moment, where we'll join the round and start with round 3. Okay, so we've finished round 2, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain 3 of the row below. And then on this round, we're doing half trebles, so I'm only doing 2 chains at this point. Then I'm going to do a half treble into the same stitch. This is a UK half treble. And then one more half treble into the next stitch. So on this one, I've got a pair and then a single. And we're basically going to now work our way round doing 2 half trebles into the next stitch, and then 1 into the stitch after. So it's a combination where we're ending up with 3 stitches. So we've got 2 and a 1. I'll just do a half treble really slowly just at this point, just so if anyone's struggling. So you wrap, go into the hole, grab it, bring it back through, wrap, and through all 3. So it's wrap in the hole, grab, bring it back through, wrap, and through all 3. So keep going all the way around the edge where you're doing a pair of half trebles and then one on its own all the way around until you get back to the beginning. When you've finished, you should have 36 stitches, and you slip stitch it to join and then fasten off. Okay, we're back in a moment. Okay, we're back with round 4, and for this one there are some extra notes from the designer. So this row was done in half trebles, and what you can see here are the top, which normally you would be working through here. Now for this particular one we want the fronts to stand forward and be more pronounced. I've actually got one here that I've already done. So you want this to be more up and forward. So that means we have to work in behind. So the trick here is finding the stitch that you need. So she's talking about the fact that there are 3 loops involved with a half treble. So there's those 2 which we've said, but then there's a third one here. So hopefully you can see that. Now for this row we're going to be working into that third treble only, which forces this bit forward. So I've joined one in already there just to show you more clearly, I hope, that where we are. Right, so I have joined my loop in, and for this one we are doing 2 chains. So I do one with my tail and one with the working yarn, and at this point I'm going to work another half treble into the back, the same loop. So I've got my chain of 2 and I've got my half treble. It looks a bit stretched and a bit weird at the moment, don't worry, that's normal. So we've got a pair in there, and then we're going to work 1 half treble into the back loops only of these. So that's the real back loop. So again we twist, we go into the back so you can see how they're pushed forward, and we do a half treble, and then I'm going to do another half treble into the back of the next one. I've chosen on these to work 2 half trebles into the back of the single stitch there, and then you've got a pair of stitches that were done together. I'm using those to do the individual half trebles into. So I'm back to my next individual half treble of the row below, and I'm going to work 2 into that one, and then I've got the next pair to work with, and I'm going into the back with half trebles again. I'll just work another pair and then I'll really try and show you exactly what I'm doing. So I've got the 2 half trebles together and then 2 individual half trebles. So I'll just pause that for a second there. So you've got that chain of 2 and a half treble both into that one loop here, then a half treble into the back loops of the next 2 stitches, so you can see how it's forcing that forward now, then another pair of half trebles followed by 2 individuals, another pair followed by 2 individuals. So you're going to do that all the way around till you get to here, and then we'll just slip stitch to the chain 2 at the other end, and that'll be your round 4 done. But so you're working 2 together, or 2 in the same hole and then 2 in individual holes. So I'll let you get on with that one and I'll join you again at the end of round 4. Okay, so we've finished round 4 and you can see how these are definitely facing up, and that's why we've worked into those back loops. Now round 5 is similar in that again you're working into these back loops only, And for this one, the designer's recommending that you go into, so you've got your 2 individuals and then your pairs, and she's recommended that you go into the back of one of the individuals to start the next round. Now with this round we're working in the emerald, and with this we're going to do a chain of 3 to start with. So okay, so you're working into the back of that half treble, and we're now going to work a normal UK treble into the same loop. So we've got a chain of 3 and then a half treble, and you can see how it's pulling a bit there, but that's fine, that is what it's meant to do. Now the next bit is we're going to work a treble into each of the next 3 stitches, and into the back loops only of the next 3 stitches. So that will be into the back. I've done it into the first individual stitch for the pair, and then we've got a single stitch and then a pair again. So what should happen is that you work these 3 separate UK trebles into the very back loops of these 3 stitches, and then you're back at the first individual half treble of the row below, and you're going to again work a pair of UK trebles into there. So I've worked 2 into that first stitch into the back of it, and then I'm going to work 1, 2, 3. So you've got the chain of 3 and the treble into that first stitch there, and then 3 individuals. The last one of those individuals sits over the final one where you've got the pair of the row below. And again, this is facing towards you, so it's giving this some prominence, which is what we want for the final look of this round. So that's another pair of trebles, and then 3 individual trebles. Okay, so it's a pair of trebles into 1 and then 3 individual trebles all into these back loops. And again, don't worry that it's pulling, that's part of the look, and you need to end up with this facing forward. So I'll complete the round and then we'll come back with the beginning of the round 6. Okay, see you in a mo. Okay, so at the end of round 5, this is what you want to have achieved. So these on the white rows are facing up, the nice mustard colour is facing up, and you've now got this row of dark green. So we're now moving on to the lime green, and for this one we're going to be working a combination of half trebles and front post trebles, and I want my front post trebles to be worked on the middle of the 3 stitches. So you've been working pairs and then 3 individuals and then another pair. I want my front post treble to be here, and you have 4 half trebles between that, so I'm counting backwards from any of the middle ones. So there's my pairs there, and then I've got 3 stitches in the middle, so that's the one I want my front post treble to be round. So I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pop my hook in there. This is my preference, it doesn't actually matter where you start, I just think this gives you a nice one to work to, and it's easy to see if you've gone wrong if you're aiming for a particular stitch on the row. So we start off by bringing the yarn through, anchoring it with 1 chain, and then I'm going to work a second chain with my working yarn, and that's the first, in this instance, that's the first half treble. We're going to count that as a half treble on the way round. So I'm going to work another 3 half trebles, this time into the normal bit of the stitch where you would be expecting to work. So I'll just start that one again. I've wrapped, I've gone in underneath that pair there at the side, and then bring it back through, round and through all 3. I'm going to do that twice more, so wrap into the normal hole, wrap, bring it through 3. In this one I am actually anchoring my tail as we go along, because I know that's not going to affect anything on this particular round. If you're not sure, just leave the tail to sew in afterwards. Okay, so I've done the equivalent of the 4 half trebles. I'm now looking at this again, so I've got the pair from the previous round and the other pair at this side. So that's one I'm ignoring, that's one I'm ignoring. I'm going to work front post trebles around this centre one. So wrap, and instead of going into the hole, you're going under from the right to the left. Grab the yarn, bring it back through, round and through 2, round and through 2. So these stitches are that little bit longer. Wrap, do the same again around the same stitch. Round through 2, round and through 2. Okay, we're now going to work 4 half trebles. So I'm going right into the very first stitch next to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 trebles. I'm now back to a centre piece, so I've got a pair of trebles there and a pair of trebles there. That's one either side. I'm heading for this centre one. So wrap underneath from the right to the left, grab, bring it back through, round through 2, round through 2, and again wrap under from the right to the left, grab it, bring it back through, round and through 2, round and through 2. Then another half treble into the very, very first loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see how the pattern is now starting to emerge. So again, I'm back to where I've got these 3 individuals and I'm looking for that centre one. So wrap under from right to left, grab, bring it back through, round through 2, round through 2, and again wrap under that from the right to the left, bring it back through, round and through 2, round and through 2, and then I'm going to work another 4 individual half trebles into the next 4 stitches. So if I just lay that down there, you can see now how the pattern's emerging. So I'm picking up that middle individual treble each time and wrapping 2 front post trebles round it. I'm going to complete the circle and we'll come back and join you in a moment for round 7. Okay. Okay, so this is how you should look at the end of round 6. And I think you can now, it's beautifully clear to see the coconut shape in the middle, which I think is really quite sweet. For this, we're now going to make it into a square so that it's easy to add it into the blanket. There is another designer note on this one to say to insert your hook into the back 2 loops of the half trebles when working your stitches, leaving 1 strand at the front, so I'll demonstrate that in a minute, but only to work into 1 strand of the 2 half trebles because you haven't really got anything else to go easily down into at the back. So you start between the raised front post trebles there, so start in the middle of that. And what I've done there is, instead of going under this, you are going into the back one and then into the loop that's behind as well, like we've done before. So bring the yarn through, and we're going to actually work the first corner now. So we need a chain of 4, which is going to replace one of the double trebles. So get a little bit twisted up there. So that's my chain of 4. Then, sorry, I'm going to do a double treble, not a half treble, a double treble into that one, and 1 chain, and then another 2 double trebles. So 1, 2, 3. So that's wrap twice into the hole, grab, bring it back through, wrap and through 2, wrap through 2, wrap and through 2. So that's going to be the first corner. We're now going to work the straight sections between. So we start with another double treble. So I'm going to work 2 of these. Yep, I'm now at one of the trebles from the row below, so you can only work into one of the loops, not 2. Then we're going to do 2 standard trebles. That's 1, and then we're getting into where we can work through 2 loops, I believe, there. Okay, it just makes it a little bit of a stronger connection. So I'm working a half treble and then another half treble. So here we've got the corner all worked into one. We've got 2 double trebles, 2 trebles, 2 half trebles. Then we're going to work a double crochet, and we're going to do 5 of these all individually. 1, 2, 3, a long way down there, 4, 5. So I've got 5 doubles. Then we go back to working 2 half trebles, 1 into each of the next 2 stitches. Then I'm going to work 2 standard UK trebles, and then we're back to doing double trebles. So that's 1 of my double trebles, then a second one. And again, where I can, I'm working into 2 threads at the back. We're now back here where we're going to work a corner. So as you can see, the next corner is also going to happen between the front post raised trebles there. So for the corners, we work 2 double trebles and 1 chain, and then another 2 double trebles, and then we're back to working, they're all in 1 stitch. We're now working 2 double trebles individually into the next 2 stitches. So you can see there I've got my corner, worked another 2. I'm now going to work 2 individual trebles, 1, 2, another 2, oops, start that one again. This is a half treble, another half treble where you wrap and pull it through all 3, then another 5 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we start again with 2 half trebles, 2 normal trebles, 2 double trebles, and then we're back at another corner. So again, you'd work into the next stitch, you're going to work 2 double trebles, a chain and another 2 double trebles, and then keep going all the way around until you join to here. And I'll just come back in a moment and show you the finished item. Okay, so this is it complete. You can see how you've now squared it off, so that's what you're looking for at the end when you've finished. I do recommend again blocking these, so pin them onto a towel, make sure they're nice and damp, and then just leave them to dry naturally. It really does make a difference to when you're sewing up and the neatness of your blanket. But that's the coconut square for week 3. Okay.